While everybody is focused on the subject of the death of right-wing political figures, it's interesting how little conversation there has been about Germany. Because most people I've spoken to outside of Germany have been totally unaware of the strange occurrences that have been taking place there in the run-up to their recent election that took place just a few days ago on the 14th of September. Did you know that 7 candidates for a single party died during the brief campaign period before the election? 7. This is something that's never happened before, or at least not in the history of Western democracies. 7 candidates for a single party dying in such a brief window of time is beyond all statistical probability. But why is this not considered newsworthy outside of Germany? Well, because that party is the AfD, the Alternative for Germany, which is the equivalent of the Reform Party here in the UK. It's considered the far-right party of Germany. And what does far-right even mean anymore these days, huh? It basically means you disagree with a leftist on one thing. In my case, I became far-right in 2020 as a lifelong peace-loving hippie leftist who was opposed to war and believed in equality. I became far-right when I questioned COVID. What about you? When did you become far-right? I suppose I developed far-right leanings in 2016, back when I was working in media. My entire organization was very strongly anti-Trump and anti-conservative. You couldn't comfortably express any conservative opinions among your colleagues. But at that time, the political division hadn't yet turned hostile. It was still pub banter level. Just daily Trump jokes and writing off all conservatives as deplorables. No death threats or anything like that yet. But yeah, that was when I started observing anti-right-wing sentiment completely taking over mainstream discourse. But fast forward back to today, when, again, we have 7 members of the AfD dying of various causes ranging from heart attack to suicide. Suicide just before an election. And the media insists that it's just coincidence. No foul play, even though it's statistically impossible. The little media coverage this did garner highlights the fact that actually 16 candidates died in total for all of the parties. But aside from the 7 AfD candidates, it was just one candidate for this party, another one for that party. But even so, if the media insists that there's nothing to look at here, surely even 16 candidates across the board is still something quite newsworthy, isn't it? Like, why are so many people dying, period? Well, that's the other rabbit hole I'm not going to go down here in this particular post. I've already lost multiple social media accounts for talking about it. So let's not go down that particular rabbit hole again. What's been done's been done. And I said what I had to say at the time. But back to this fear and hatred of the right, which gets so much international coverage when it happens in the US, but much less within Europe. Aside from the 7 deaths in the AfD, who remembers what happened in Romania earlier this year? I think it was in May, when the candidate who won the first round was deemed far right. So they just ignored the election result and they barred him from continuing to run. He was banned from running in the election. But the harder the left tries to silence opposition, the more people get pushed to the right. The more they scream fascist at anyone who opposes or questions their singular views, the more people realize who the fascists really are. But most of the people who use that word today don't even know what it means, do they? That's how dumbed down they are.